I'm Everson Morega, a born-again Christian, and I'm a pastor. I serve at a Pastor Tumaini, Akilimali, that's where I serve. And by profession, I'm a vet, that's a veterinary. I do treat animals. And today I'm here with my beautiful wife. I'll give her a chance to introduce herself.
Thank you, baby. My
Welcome.
name is Lucy Murega. I'm a born-again Christian, the good wife to Pastor Murega.
Wow.
And we give God all the glory. Thank you for being, thank you, our viewers. So I do insurance as a profession. I work as an agent, so I work on behalf of many other companies. Yes.
So today we are here to give our love story. We hope that it's going to encourage somebody, it's going to motivate somebody, it's going to be a good lesson to many people that are watching this show. So this is our love story. We met on a crusade. She was invited by a friend of mine. She was new in that area, in our area. So she never knew many areas. She was new in that area. So she was invited for that crusade, and I was in that crusade. That was my first time to see her. And that day, nothing happened much. We just shook hands, and then I left. And after I left, then that friend of mine then later came and told me that he wants us now to go and visit the lady that I shook hands with the other day. So maybe she also tells us.
Yeah, so after meeting him at the crusade through this friend of mine, they used to go to church together with him. But then I didn't know much about him, so he introduced me to him. And when I saw him, I think I would say to me was love at first sight. Yes, so I saw him, I just liked him, and but unfortunately he didn't stay long at the crusade. I understand he was not feeling well. Yeah, so he left the venue, he went, and I remember looking at him until he disappeared. Yeah, so after that, I pursued my friend, who is also a friend to him. So I told him, okay, I would love to meet this guy another time. So he told me, we are very good friends, so I think I can organize. He comes and visits you, or maybe we can do coffee somewhere. But then now, instead of doing coffee, I suggested they can just come to our house because the guy used to visit us. So it was more comfortable than visiting us at our house. So my personality is I'm very bold as a woman. So approaching a man to me is just not a big issue. For one, I liked him as a person, as in the way you can just get attracted to somebody when you meet them at the first time. But then, of course, even when I moved to that town, I was still new in that town. So I was looking at some point I will definitely have a friend. So I thought maybe once we get to meet, probably something can grow.
Nothing bad was in my mind. I knew that we are meeting just like a friend, and no interest. At that time, I was coming out from a broken relationship. So I was healing at that process. So I was not ready for another relationship. But when this friend of mine came and told me that he want us to visit this lady, so I just visited like a friend, you see, not like somebody who want to be in a relationship, not like somebody who want to be in love, but just like a normal friend. And now that she was new in that area, and she had not many friends, so I just wanted to come in as just a normal any other friend. So this friend of mine, when he came and told me that he want us to visit the lady, at first I was not for it. I never agreed until he kept on pushing, like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, almost a month. And then now I just saw that this guy is pushing me too much. Then I just agreed we can just visit. And then when we visited, from our culture, you don't just visit empty-handed. I prepared myself. I got some cash. Then I went to supermarket, and then I did a small shopping, and then I took to the lady to just as a normal shopping, but nothing in my mind. I never knew that she had those intentions, but at the back of my mind, I knew that I'm visiting just a normal friend.
So when I was expecting them, when this friend of mine confirmed that they are coming on this particular day, I think I was excited, and at the same time I was, okay, I really had mixed feelings. I was like, yes, we can meet. It can either turn out to be a good relationship or a different thing, because people have different personalities. So the fact that I saw him, but we didn't interact, so I didn't know much about him. So I was just open, because I'm also, I love friends. So I was just open, even if it's not coming out to be a relationship that I expect, then still we can just make friends with people around. It was a new place that I was in, so I didn't mind having friends, not necessarily in terms of relationship. Yes, and then now they came. So when they came the first time I saw him, I think I was delighted. And then what really struck me was the fact that he came visiting with a gift, some gifts. Through the friend, I think my friend had briefed him that I have kids. So he came carrying goodies even for the babies. So when I looked at that pack, the way the way you take your visitors and then you pick their luggage, then of course wherever I took my luggage I had to peep. So I saw I saw even brought some snacks for the babies. So I was like, okay, this could be a good person. So that was just one sign that just blew my mind. But then now when we sat down to eat, I had prepared some good meal for them. So, so when we sat down to chat, and as in getting to know each other, it was just flowing. I felt like, yeah, the relationship is just flowing. The friendship is just flowing, even before we thought about anything else. So he was very friendly, even to my children. And that was really a good feeling, even from the first day.
I was from a relationship that had already broken, and I was in the process of healing. So I needed time. According to me, I thought that I needed more time. And when now my friend told me that we visit these, and then I agreed, I give in to visit them. He told me that they are kins. So knowing that they are kins, so I had to take time. I could not even think of having a relationship with someone who had kids, even though I had one also. So I had to take my time. And when we visited, at the back of my mind, I never thought of a relationship or a potential woman or a wife. I just saw a normal friend. And that day, we did not talk much. We just exchanged contact, and then we had like the swallowship. I'll call it swallowship. Because she had prepared good meal. She knows how to cook. So we enjoyed, and then when the time to leave came, and then we just left.
the fact that we had we had exchanged our contacts, so we were in touch. So most of the time, I would find us just checking on each other through the phone, of course. And then at some point, I invited him over again, mine as his friend. So he accepted, he came. Before that, I had invited him at my place of work. So he came to my office. He saw my office. He greeted my colleagues. We had a brief chat in my office. Yeah, you see, as we talked, it was somehow coming. Though, you see, as a woman, much as I'm very bold, but still I was very conscious that it doesn't really come direct. Yeah, so we took our time. Even though I remember at some point, he sent me a text when we were chatting. He sent me a text on WhatsApp and he told me, I love you. So I sent him those emojis kushtuka, those of, okay. I was excited, of course. But then when he told me that, I was like, wow, okay, fine. So now from there, I took it over. I took it up. So now, I did my best.
By this time, I saw now that we can move in the same direction. So now I thought I can now shoot my shot. And then I just decided to tell her that I love her. Because we had already taken some time, even though it was not a long time. So I just now, my love started grew. You see, my love started grew, and now I knew now I can settle with this lady because she was beautiful. And everything that a man would wish to have, she had everything. So I just decided now, because the other one didn't work, let me now concentrate on this one, let me focus on this one. And that's how now I decided, now let me tell her that I love her, and now to see what will happen after this. And I just did a text and then texted her. And then now from there, everything now started on well.
What I could say about us having kids, okay, like for my case, I was from another relationship, though I had given myself time, because from the time I was meeting him, it was about 6 years. So I would say I had taken my time, though in between I had met some other people, even though not really into serious relationship. Because you see, by the time, the fact that I had kids, I was very conscious on who I would settle for. Yeah, so I was very keen to get somebody in the first place, somebody who will appreciate me the way I am, together with my children. So that was part of our first conversation when we were talking with him. When after he shot his shot, we immediately started talking about now our past, our children. So he told me he had a relationship, he has a baby. So he told me what really happened with the previous relationship. I too shared with him my part of the story. So through that, of course, as you talk, as you interact, you get to understand what kind of a person you're dealing with. Yeah, so I appreciated, even as we moved, I could see this is somebody who has concern for me, concern for my children, which was my priority. And then it just flowed.
Before we moved in together, we informed our parents. They need to know. Yeah. I informed my parent, then I introduced her to my parent, then she introduced me also to her parent. And then now after receiving their blessings, we moved in together. And then after that, we did our wedding.
With my case, my parents were very open because you see, I had taken my time. And by the time I told my mother about him, he was very open. He was like, she was like, if you think it's good for you, if you like it and you think the person that you have met is a good person according to you, then you have my blessings. I don't have a problem with that. So she basically told me, you just go ahead. As long as this is somebody who would genuinely take you in together with your children, with a lot of love and with no reservations. So she told me, you just go ahead. Yeah, and on the side of my dad, I think by the time we went, we were planning now to visit home with him. That is the time my dad got to know about. Mostly us ladies would share our personal things with our mothers first. Yeah, so I shared with my mother. So she told me, you just go ahead, just get to know him. Don't really rush. But first of all, because you have children, the way a parent will just, a mother would just advise their daughter. So she advised me that just take your time, get to know him well, because kids are involved here, at least for the sake of peace between you and the children and also with him.
Okay, on my side, I can't say that it was easy, but it was not that complicated because my parents had it from people. At first, not from me. They had it from people. In the area that we were living, there are those friends of ours that know my family. They know my parents, they know my mom and my dad. And then even the church that I used to fellowship at that time, they knew my parents. They were good friends with my parents. So people heard it from people used to talk about us. And then they told my parents, even before I introduce her, even before I tell anything to my parents already knew that Everson Murega as somebody who has kids. And to make it worse, they used to call her Kimama. So, so people went and told my parents, I don't know if they made calls or what, they told them that Murega akona Kimama. And now my parents wanted really to know and to see this Kimama. You see, I remember one day we were from a family function, and one of my relative gave me a phone to, I was doing something on WhatsApp for her, and then I just saw the conversation. They had taken photos from Facebook, and then they were sending to each other. See the Kimama that Murega is dating. See the Kimama that... You see now, those kind of stories. But it was not easy. People talked about me, talked about us. But one thing I loved about my parents, they were supportive. You see, my parents are the kind of people that will tell me that if you know you're not going to regret in future, you just go for it. You see, so we planned a day, and then I went to introduce her to my dad and my mom. And amazingly, they accepted her with a lot of love. That's what encouraged me. Despite what people were saying, despite the stories that were spreading, the rumors and everything, my parents accepted her, and that was amazing.
With me, I think I was very easy. I knew there had to be those negativity from the society. There was society, the way they would view people. Of course, by the time that I knew, I had 3 babies. I was definitely older than him. That is one thing. So I knew when this issue gets out there, the way people will perceive it, of course, they will have mixed feelings. So I expected that. But then the other bit about it is the way he took it. The way he was handling the whole issue. even as he shared with me on how he used to hear stories of people talking about us, his friends telling him about me. Some people would even tell him, hey, umetupa mbao, you get. But then he was so bold. He's like, I think my happiness is the most important. I am not so keen about what people says about me. The most important thing is, are we in tune with each other? Just me and you. Am I sure I am liking you, I'm loving you? Am I sure that you love me the same way I feel about you? So that's basically the most important thing. So that really encouraged me, and I think I was not really keen about the negativity that is out there. The parents accepting me was another issue. I would tell you for a fact, the first day, you see, forget about the society. You know, parents are so important in anyone's life. And us getting into a marriage setting, relationship before now getting to marriage, of course it will just, our hope is for it to get into marriage. So that's a lifetime thing. So I was like, how will his parents perceive me? Though he had briefed me about how his parents are, but you see, I was not so sure because these are people I had never met. So to my surprise, when I met the parents, he had told them that we are going, okay, they have a church just near their home. So we went for a service in that church. Then after church, now that's when we went home. So I saw them at church. They looked so jovial. They greeted us. We greeted the church, as in the whole environment was just warm. Then when we went to the house, the mom embraced me. And you see, even before talking, she was like, Simi niliambiwa, you know, she's such a jovial mama. So she told me, niliambiwa mko na watoto, kwani hamjakuja na watoto? You see, that's something that just melted my heart. I felt like, oh, okay, so you know, yeah, so it's something you wouldn't mind. You see, the way you go there alone, unajua si ubebani na watoto, unaenda kwanza peke yako. So when I went there, and the fact that she was asking, ati kwani watoto wako wapi, hamjatuletea watoto. So I felt welcomed, I felt home. Yeah, it was really an awesome feeling.
We moved in together now, after our parents have accepted us, and our parent also accepted us. We did the introduction to both parents. Then now we decided now we can move in we can start marriage. Mm-hmm. We can start something that we know, and we will ensure that's working. Even though people were talking so much negative, but one thing I would like to say, and even tell the viewers of this show, that don't be discouraged by what people say. You know, even if you try to be good, however much you want to do it, people will always talk. True. However much you want to paint a picture that you're the nicest person, people will always say the negative thing in you. So one thing I would like to tell our viewers today is that never give up on what you're doing. Never give in to the negative and to whatever people are saying. Just focus on what you're doing. Focus on what is working for you. You see, and as they say that men make home where they find peace. So when you find peace, you just make it home. And don't listen too much to people. Even if you do anything possible that you can do to please men, they will still talk evil about you. So we moved in as now we are going to be man and wife, you see. And now our children, we worked it out.